Hi guys, it's Nicole, and I am diving back into Creating with Collections, volume number 2, which features Doodlebug Tinsel Time. This is layout number 10, and as a reminder, I am running this with Lisa Brooks over at Life and Layouts. She will have a video up today as well, linked down in the description box below. So when you finish watching my video, head over to her channel and go see what she made for her 10th layout. Now, my layout number 10 is one of the last ones that I had planned and prepped months ago, and I have picked this kit back up, and I am attempting to kind of get through these last few that I had prepped before I can kind of do another planning session. With this being layout number 10, the next video that you guys are going to see from us is going to basically be a look at layouts 1 through 10, kind of talking about our thoughts regarding those 10 layouts, and then a look at where our kits currently sit. Now, for layout number 10, I will say I did not leave myself any notes. I did take a screenshot of this mocked up in Photoshop. I basically took the sketch, I drop it in, I crop the photos, kind of drop them on top, and essentially mock up like a digital version of the layout. So I did have that to remind myself that this was a heavy modification. The original sketch is actually from a month in review bundle from Scrapbook Generation. I will link it down below. And it only had 3 rows of photos. However many you see in the columns on these photo collages is accurate. However, I added another row. I couldn't narrow down my photos, and the sizing worked out to where I was like, okay, if I eliminate the extra, I think it was 3 inches. So you had an 1.5 inch margin at the top, an 1.5 inch margin at the bottom, an 1.5 inch margin on either left and right side so that you have this beautiful frame. I was like, yeah, no, yeet that. We're going to add some more photos and I'll figure it out in the future. Future me was like, girl, what were you freaking thinking? So that's always a fun, a fun process. This sketch, I think I focused on it because it did have a lot of paper strips and it also had these like circular elements that I think I was leaning towards some stuff that I had already used. So I don't think I did a very good job digging through my kit when I did this planning session. It was very much like a quick one, but you got to pivot. That's kind of part of the series. I have a lot of the border strips cut apart that's on that pre-printed sheet, and I don't want to say that I'm hoarding them, but I am trying to keep them in that 12-inch size for as long as I possibly can because I know my style. I know the sketch style that I like to go to, and I just kind of know that I'm going to reach for some of those. So I only pulled 2 for this layout, the one with the Santa faces and the one with the reindeer faces. I'm trying to incorporate some things that I don't love. They're not my favorites and mix them in with the things that are my favorites. So, not to say I don't love the Santa border or the reindeer border. I think I've just avoided them 9 layouts worth at this point. And so I was like, okay, of the border strips that I have, which ones am I most likely to want that full 12 inches? And I kind of set those aside. And from the ones that I was like, okay, I would not be upset if I cut these down. And those ones are going to kind of be the fun focal like strips, if that makes sense. I want to have more than just tone on tone B-sides. I want to mix in some multicolored prints. I want to mix in some of those icon prints, and pulling in those border strips really helped. Look at this cool post-it note trick. I think Lisa has picked this up recently. Somebody else told me. Lots of random hacks in this video. The little white thing on my trimmer is just a piece of post-it tape that I put on there to mark the 4-inch edge. So I can just slide my strips. When I feel it tap the edge, I know that it's lined up. Yes, I can visually line it up on my trimmer, but we all know that you're either on the very outer edge of that gutter, the inner edge of that gutter, in the middle of the gutter. Putting something there for your paper to butt up against just kind of helps. If you have something that's too thin to get in your trimmer, if it's about 1.25 inches, I can do that post-it note trick to kind of give myself a handle. If it's under 1 inch, even the post-it note doesn't help me a lot. At that point, I just go to a like quilting ruler and an X-Acto knife if I really need to shave something down. So here's another hack coming. These are all lining up beautifully. I'm going to skip this last one. So basically strip number 11. I'm going to put 12 down. You can see that that gap is not an inch. I don't know why we cut these all. There's 12 of them. We cut them all 12 inches. They do not equal 12 inches. They equal like 12 and a 16th. I don't know. So I skip it, create a gap, make sure that that 12th one kind of butts up against the edge of my paper. Number 11 will straddle the edge of number 12, and number 10, nobody will ever know that they are not perfectly 1 inches. Here's another issue I had. The 1-inch pieces over here, eyeballing 1-inch pieces, they're wiggly. The 4-inch pieces, they have a longer side and they can kind of stay straight. These little 1-inch ones, they don't like to play nice. So as I was going along, I was like, these are crooked. These are not going to line up by the time I go to do this hack again. There's that beautiful little hack. Quilting ruler comes out again. I still don't think it's straight, but we're going for straight-ish, not straight. Okay, I'm going to draw my pencil lines so I can do some hand stitching. I'm going to do a lot of tone-on-tone stitching here. At this point, I'm not 100% sure where any of the elements are going to go, so I'm just going to go ahead and stitch across all of these. If I cover up some stitching, that's okay. This is really fast stitching because it's only a 4-inch section and then a 1-inch section, and it was only one row of stitching per strip. So this was like maybe one TV show episode, and I was done. Now, this is when I was kind of yelling at past me. I'm on video call with Lisa at this point. I had to crop her out of the frame. This is the moment, and I think I told her on call, this is when I realized I have reached what I would consider a pivotal point in creating collections where I am heavily identifying things that either I don't like personally, or I'm not in the mood for at the moment, or they're just not working. Whether that's style wise, like there's nothing wrong with the product. I'm personally struggling to use it. So I change it. I did not like the Santa, or no, it was a snowman underneath there. The snowman did not fit. There's no snowman on any of these pieces of pattern paper, but the house, for some reason, made more sense to me. So I punched the house out, layered it on top of that circle, and covered up the snowman. The snowman up at the top, I'm still trying to figure him out. And then I think originally I was drawn to this sketch because I thought I still had that big scallop circle on the sticker sheet, forgetting I had used it in layout number 1. But I knew in the back of my mind that there's a lot of circle elements in this collection, and I tend to avoid circular elements. So that's probably why I was leaning towards that sketch. Here's another one. I like the frame on this sticker, but there's almost mini themes within a large collection like this. You have some of like the mint and the reds. You have some of the reds and the greens and more traditional. And then you have the like fun rainbow theme and the bright concept. That sticker had a Christmas tree and like the rainbow merry and bright vibe to it. This layout for me, it didn't match. So I'm going to cover it. Even the elements that I'm choosing to cover it with aren't necessarily a perfect match to what I'm doing. It's more of a closer match. So here you can see this, it doesn't match to me. But I do like the frame and I want to get it used up. So I'm going to cut it off. I'm not going to throw that piece away. We're going to save it because who knows what future me is going to dig in this dumpster and decide to use later. So those are 2 stickers layered together. Before I decide what else I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and add some liquid adhesive underneath the edges of all the strips. Only one edge of each strip has stitching on it, so I want to make sure to go ahead and put some adhesive under there. Make sure everything is kind of down and secured really well. Now I'm going to have a look through of what's left because I have this snowman down here. I don't love the snowman, so I'm going to find something to cover him up with. I'm going to use a snowflake. It barely covers him. I think you can see the edge of like his hat and maybe the edge of his belly. If you're looking that close at my layout, just don't. Like, let there be some secrecy. Let there be some wonder. But this is a good indicator to me that I am hitting a part of creating with collections that makes me think creatively. I start thinking differently about the products. I stop avoiding them and I start looking at why am I avoiding them and how can I change it? One of the other things I'm running into is I have a lot of these phrases. I don't love them. I feel like I've used a lot of them, but somehow they're there. There's so many. I've used a ton of the title pieces. I don't have a lot of the title pieces left. And this was a nighttime scrap session. Guess what? I don't enjoy making dickers at nighttime. I was like, I don't want to make dickers. So, what can I do? I don't know what I can do. So, while I'm marinating on that thought, I'm like, okay, I know I need to cover this part of the photo collage. What paper do I have left? And even when I'm picking those papers, I am considering what do I think I want to have available later? What has already been cut into? What is also somewhat less busy? And I'm also keeping an eye on those strips of paper that butt up against it. So I didn't want to use the green wood grain. I didn't want to use an aqua because of the reindeer, and I didn't want to use a red because of that red stripe, and I didn't want to use the white sparkle because it's the next one down. Now, this is when I was like, you know what? There's more of these strips on the back of this paper, this cut apart. What if I cut my title from this? And at first I thought, okay, I'll make it into like phrase stickers. I'll cut them into phrases like this, like, little like rectangles. Hated it. I did not like this. I think it could have worked in a different style, different layout. In this application, I was like, no, I don't like this. So then I was like, okay, let's fussy cut it and it will be like a miniature version of those large titles that I've already used. Fun fact, I have not seen these scissors since I made this layout. That's a topic for another day. I got some stuff going on in the background that hopefully I can discuss during a clean with me soon. You guys, the dumpster is on fire right now. But yeah, back to my layout. I fussy cut those and I told Lisa, I said, I hate it. I hate it. It's ugly. I don't like it. But I was so desperate to be done that I was like, okay, you got to find a solution. I was so mad because I thought I had used up all the tags and I was like, there's no way I've only used them on one layout. I knew that these tags were going to be a saving grace throughout this whole series and that I want to do a tag dedicated layout, that I had stashed them in their own little scrap bag. So I pulled those out. I'm going to find two that coordinate with the patterns that I made my strips from and stagger them and essentially give me a grounding place to put my title and my journaling strips. Fun fact, I had to cut the end of this video because the end of this clip was actually me fixing layout number 9 and I forgot to hit record when I did my journaling strips. So if you're looking for the journaling or like how this looks completed, I would just say pay attention to the detail shots. I'm pretty sure that I just didn't hit record because I was doing some surgery on a layout and I was not happy about it. So this is going to get somewhat minimally embellished, but bringing in those tags, deciding not to use the word magic, it was like the negative colors of the other two words that I used Christmas morning. It just wasn't going to work. I'm not going to fight it anymore. I like how this looks. It fits really well on the top of those tags. I've got space underneath to do some longer or like wider journaling strips. And then again, I am trying to get some stuff used up. So I did grab one more of those banners. I'm going to cut the edge off and use it to bring in some color and some texture to this big photo collage. And essentially I'm going to use, I think I did 3 phrase stickers from the 12 by 12 sticker sheet and one of those banners. And then I am going to go ahead and use the last of these silver colored sparkle things is what I'm calling them. I am shocked that Lisa is struggling to use these and I'm done. They're gone. I now have to make some out of the stamp set if I want more. And I probably will be doing that very soon. I didn't want to only use like 2 and leave 2 on the sheet. I was like, "No, if we're gonna use them, we're gonna use them all." I love them. I like the fact that it's gonna bring in that silver kinda everywhere. It's gonna bring in some embellishing. This is one of those where in the moment, it felt like I was using a ton of stuff. I definitely got a lot of scraps used up. I got some specific product used up, and I love that. So again, next video is going to be us taking a look at our kit, doing a recap of the 10 layouts that we've done and kind of our thoughts on the whole process. And then I think we're looking at possibly doing another video planning out a set of layouts. So if you have any questions, leave them down below. Don't forget to go check out Lisa's video and the description for anything I think that you guys will be looking for. I thank you guys for hanging out with me today, and I'll catch you later.